I wanted to share a bit about miscarriage. Miscarriage is a common occurrence among women of childbearing age who are sexually active. And it's something that our culture tries its best to ignore. The patriarchy doesn't quite know how to deal with this issue. And of course, it's so wrapped up with um, misogyny and bodily autonomy and reproductive rights. It is the whole issue is such a soup of uh, politicized debate, which is um, such a buzzkill, right? So, what miscarriage is really is a woman who gets to see God, gets to experience divinity, and actually gets to feel on a body level what is life and what is death. So it's a profound uh, and healing journey, heroine's journey. It's unique to women, although uh, men who are involved in their family, who are really embodying their divine masculine, they also experience a deep, heartfelt event and opening, or they can, right? So these are possibilities. These are possible outcomes from a miscarriage. And if you've had a miscarriage, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. And if you have not experienced a miscarriage, then you won't know what I'm talking about. Or you might be able to relate on some level, but you won't really know. So that's the thing about miscarriage. It's both the experience of pregnancy, of creating a brand new life, of growing a human being inside your body. And it's all the emotions that come into play when you find out that you're pregnant. For some, it might be a shock and something that is uh, challenging and painful. The realization of pregnancy as something they might not want. Maybe they have a lot of other children that they're taking care of, and they're financially struggling already. So the idea of bringing another life into the world just fills them with aggravation and like, oh no. That's totally the experience of many. Or on the other hand, it could be absolute elation and happiness, and perhaps this is something that you've been wanting for a long time, is to be pregnant. Or it could be somewhere along that spectrum, right? It's a wide spectrum. And often women will actually experience both sides of it. They'll both be extremely elated and extremely terrified. That's completely normal as well. So, pregnancy is an incredible teacher in and of itself. It's an incredible way for us to come to know ourselves as divine creatures, as godly creatures, as holy creatures. The embodiment of creation, feeling creation growing inside of you, just the absolute magic of that experience of pregnancy. And of course, in the case of miscarriage, during the course of that pregnancy, something goes wrong. It could be a wide variety of issues: medical issues, emotional issues, psychological issues, spiritual issues, um, and they cause the loss of that pregnancy. And oh man, all the emotions that come with that. And as well, not to downplay it, the physical experience of miscarriage, the pain, the cramping, the bleeding. It can be very intense for some, less intense for others, depending on circumstances. And then the emotions, as I mentioned, the emotions can also go all over the board, from relief to absolute grief and sadness and sense of loss, bewilderment, anger, rage, uh, this feeling of impotency, this feeling of powerlessness, this wanting to rage against the machine, rage against God, rage against uh, the universe, against spirit, against creation, for for making you experience something that's so painful, and losing something that you wanted so badly. So again, like, just this ocean of possible feelings and reactions. Um, and this will continue for days, weeks, sometimes months after miscarriage. Uh, the important thing, in my humble opinion, is to allow yourself to feel your emotions, to allow yourself to move through the emotion instead of holding the emotion back, like at arm's length, which is unfortunately the advice that we seem to get from our culture is, in general, to ignore our feelings and to push our feelings away, especially when things get hard, especially in this case of miscarriage, when it feels hard and painful to feel the feelings. And why should I? Why should I feel these feelings? They're yucky. They're bad. I don't like these feelings. So that's step one, is to feel the feelings, to allow whichever feelings you're having to flow through you. And then if you're curious and if you're interested, to start digging a little bit deeper and finding out what it means that you grew a nervous system, a brain, eyes, mouth, arms, legs inside of you. You grew this human part of you that is now passed beyond the veil. There was this energy that was growing inside of you, and it could have been uh, very faint, or it could have been quite pronounced if it was a later term, miscarriage or stillbirth. But you knew this energy inside you, that it was you and not quite you, another being. And then you had the experience of that part of you passing away and moving into a different dimension. And is it possible for you to still contact that part? And I say, yes, it is. Yes, it's possible, and it's healing, and it is third eye opening, heart opening, and profound. It's a profound gift. And if you're willing to go deeper, if you'd like to talk more with me about this, I'm happy to um, speak with you further. Blessings.